The Lakers beat the Rockets, but that's not the headline. It's not what they did, it's how they did it. They beat the Rockets, led not by LeBron and AD, but led by Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook. Why is that significant to you?
How about the fact that Carmelo Anthony was just out of the league a couple of years ago, got picked up by Portland, became a starter, now a reserve with the Lakers, still getting buckets. Russell Westbrook, the offense looks different. You know why? LeBron is allowing Russell to be the initiator of the offense. And it's great to see, for me, LeBron pacing himself, right? And then all of a sudden have the energy and the hops to do a double pump backwards dunk, right? I love that so very much. But if the Lakers are going to win the championship this year, Anthony Davis is going to have to channel his Giannis from last year. So you're going to beat the Houston Rockets during a regular season game, and you're going to see the Lakers struggle at different points of the year. And of course, nobody goes undefeated. But if they're going to win it like I predict, they're going to need a version of AD to be what we saw some of with Giannis last year.
Absolutely. Giannis was dominant last year, and Giannis was in action over the weekend. The Bucks have struggled a little bit out of the gate, and you know who has not? The Utah Jazz. We always said that the Lakers might not be the number one seed in the West, but one of the teams that might be is a very successful regular season team in the Utah Jazz. I hate it when Reggie plays this music.
A talented team with cohesion, right? Normally you don't have the same squad with the same coach, Quinn Snyder, Gobert, Mitchell, Clarkson, the sixth man of the year. It was great to see Mike Conley have a big game. And so that cohesion to me is why I feel like the Utah Jazz are the second best team right now to the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference.
So, Jalen, you mentioned the cohesion, that core group of players rolling over year to year. The same thing is happening with the Chiefs, but they're not winning any games this year. What is wrong with the Chiefs, and can they get right on Monday night against the Giants?
Well, they've had a rollover with the defense as well. That's
LaMelo Ball. Did he play this weekend? Did LaMelo Ball play this weekend?
And like Josh Allen, he was the reason they beat Dame, CJ, and the Port. Look at that cinnamon roll. Let me roll. We want your mind. You see that? Did you know our guy LaMelo Ball, who's one of the best passers that the league has seen, did you realize, Jacoby, he led both teams in scoring? Did you realize that? LaMelo Ball led both teams in scoring. See, that's the kind of stuff that when you play in a conference like the East that has improved, their rosters improved. You see Scary Terry doing work. Miles Bridges over has been balling this year. But you know who I was happiest to see getting double-figure points? My guy. P.J. Washington. I'm happy to see him do work.
It was also good to see Oubre play well, who's bounced around a little bit. Now, Mr. Rose, the Brooklyn Nets have had a lot of attention early on in this season, especially James Harden. James Harden put it together yesterday because they were playing the Pistons. What do you think about Harden's triple-double?
No Cade Cunningham. It was great to see him return, and the Pistons beat Orlando. It's funny, when we beat the Magic, it's no big deal, but when the Knicks lose to the Magic, they're going to go 81-1. But that's another subject for another day. It was good to see James Harden be aggressive. But I ain't going to lie, Jacoby, like, the things that I see as weaknesses in the Nets, they still stand out, and they're very glaring for me how they're going to continue to get interior support other than KD.
Well, we always talk about the Nets, and there's another team that we always talk about, and that, of course, is the Los Angeles.
Defensively, Melo?
Defense.
Right, but the Lakers' system was the bedrock of their 2020 championship. Their Lakers' defense was how they won. And when Anthony Davis is there at the 5 and Melo is playing defense and bought into just the team defensive concepts. I was talking to Frank Vogel last night. He said he's really bought into the system, and when he does that, it's contagious for the rest of the team. So when you get veterans like Carmelo who are giving that kind of effort and doing the dirty work, like just on the block and banging with people down there when they're not getting stats. Now, last night he had stats, 4 blocks, 2 steals for Melo. He's never done that.
Yeah, and he was looking good. The Staples Center crowd they erupt for him every single time. But the question that certainly existed at the beginning of the season and is still playing itself out, right, is how are the veterans that you mentioned, how are all of them going to fit together? So what role has Anthony Davis played in that defensive cohesion?
Yeah, look, the Lakers came into Sunday's game 27th overall in the league in defense. That's terrible for a team with Anthony Davis, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every year he plays. But they moved him to the 5 yesterday, and I think that, Frank Vogel said they talked about it mostly because of Houston's lineup, and they had an opportunity to see how their smaller lineup looked. But I think this is here to stay. They look so good. They're +8 with him at the 5 there, but that starting lineup that they had, their net rating over the course of the season has not been good at all. The least effective player in that starting 5 has been DeAndre Jordan. So I think he moves to the bench, AD at the 5. And yesterday they went with Kent Bazemore and Avery Bradley as the 2 other starters. Those are defensive guys.
Yep.
Those are defensive-minded players. And this is Frank Vogel saying, this is how this team needs to win.
Yep.
We need to make our money on the defensive end of the ball because they lost a lot of their good perimeter defenders, but now they still have Anthony Davis.
Well, and we saw the Lakers have some success with Anthony Davis at the 5 on that championship run they made in the bubble. I know you were tweeting about this game, but you know who else, Ramona, who was tweeting about this game?
Let me guess.
It was Big Perk.
Late night Perk.
He was watching the Lakers game intensely last night, late night Perk. So I want to ask you, Perk, what does Carmelo's performance say to you?
It says a lot. And on every night with the Lakers, he's either going to be the 4th option, sometimes the 3rd option, sometimes the 2nd option, and even last night, the number 1 option. Look, Carmelo Anthony haven't seen this many wide open looks since Moby Dick was a goldfish, okay? And when you look at the pressure that LeBron James and Russell Westbrook puts on the defense, Melo is wide open, which all he has to do is catch and release. And that's what he does best, is get buckets. And what I'm seeing is right now, Melo is flourishing in a role that they wanted Kyle Kuzma to do last year, right? Come in off the bench and provide a spark offensively and get buckets. And that's what he's doing.
Okay, so then what is the areas of improvement you still want to see, Perk, for the Lakers?
I mean, Ramona touched on it, Malika. It's that defense, right? And I think I tweeted last night about why put Anthony Davis at the center position if you're not going to feature him in the offense. And then I had to go back and think about it, that I was a defensive-minded guy. And I also love what Frank Vogel is doing by putting Anthony Davis at center, even if he's not featured in the offense, because you know what it's doing? It's challenging Anthony Davis to be the anchor on defense. And that's what we saw last night. Forget the double-double that he had. I saw Anthony Davis anchoring the defense, switching out on pick and rolls, guarding little guards on perimeter, anchoring the defense, contesting things at the basket. The Rockets couldn't get nothing easy, and he was rebounding at a high level on both ends of the floor. So I actually love the move by Frank Vogel because it's, in a way, it's challenging Anthony Davis without even saying a word to him.
So quickly then, Perk, I know it was against the Rockets, who've been struggling a bit this season, but if that continues, if Anthony Davis can continue to be the defensive anchor and they take a step up here, what's the ceiling for the Lakers, do you think?
Oh, it's the championship, and we all know that he could do it, right? We saw it 2 years ago when at times Frank Vogel used him at the center position and challenged him, and he delivered in great fashion. It's all about his mindset. But if Anthony Davis is going to be the best defensive player on the floor night in and night out on both teams, the opponent and with the Lakers are going to win the championship with flying colors, and Anthony Davis is going to win his first Defensive Player of the Year award, which he could possibly win. And when you have perimeter guards, like a perimeter guard like Avery Bradley, it also takes a lot of pressure off of Anthony Davis. I love what Avery Bradley brings to the table, but AD being in tune and actually embracing the role of playing the center position will be everything for the Lakers.
Well, and they don't even have their full cavalry yet, right, Perk? So we're going to see this get to shake out a little bit. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to need you in just a minute. The Lakers held the Rockets to just 85 last night, and throughout the league, offensive numbers are down compared to last season. The average offensive efficiency is down by 6 points per 100 possessions, and field goal and three-point percentages were also better last year. And Draymond Green and Steph Curry, they seem to be delighted by the way the game is being, that we can continue it multi-days. But we do have to save a moment for top costumes because Robin Lopez and his partner Christine, shout out Christine. I know Robin. And then I love the Lillards.
I like that.
The Lillards, the Flintstone Lillards. But
and the nose and the finger in the nose like a
But you guys, the Lakers, they went all out. That's Russ as Chucky and Trevor Ariza as the Joker. And then I don't even understand this. All right, yeah, LeBron, amazing. That's Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I had no
How? How is that Anthony Davis? I don't get it. And then LeBron also had a sitting lookalike.
A doppelganger.
Courtside, but actually, this is the Rockets rookie Josh Christopher's older brother, Pat Christopher, and he's designed clothes for LeBron and was a counselor at LeBron's camp since 2007. But the internet didn't know all of this when they just saw, wait, that looks like LeBron seeing double. And after the game, LeBron had some fun, mixing it up courtside, tweeting, Ayo, true definition of two places at the same time. Somebody tell Patsy if he wants to be me for Halloween, just ask. Can I be you for Halloween, Shanae?
Absolutely. Can I be you for Halloween?
Yeah, because we asked. So
Okay.
that's the way
Now you know
it'll
how it
work.
goes.
I think we could both, like, I could sit on your shoulders and I'd be
That would work.
perk.
That would.
Yeah.
Oh, for
yeah,
perk.
yeah. If I sit on your shoulders,
Yeah.
and I could
That would
perfect.